What's up, everyone? So, as I've looked around and I've observed a lot of people, I've started to realize that, you are kind of influenced tremendously by your environment, by your upbringing, by your family, by all of these things. And it's just the truth. Like it or not, when you look around, when I look around, there are tons of people who are, very much similar in certain ways to my upbringing because of their Asian parents or because of, their culture or because they were nerds or they didn't fit in or, they didn't do well in school or they weren't that popular or they played a lot of video games or whatever. But you can't let that define you. And you gotta, if you want to set a path or set a goal, it's gonna be tough. But I do think that it's really possible to, you know, chart your own path. And I'm sure it's not gonna be easy. It's probably gonna be very tough. Um, but I do think it's possible. And too many people they get overwhelmed by the fact that this is how they are and they kind of just give up. And you know, life is a weird thing because you know, I feel like I know a bunch of people who um it seems like their whole life, like every little thing about their lives, it was almost like they never really took complete control of it in a way where they were just like they really had a sense of looking at it from a bigger picture and seeing themselves and deciding where they want to go and controlling that. It was all sort of you know environment and influences that control their behavior from um, maybe how they were raised to their cultural upbringing to all these things dictating like how they behave, how they interact, what their interests are, and all these things. And I see it quite often with Asian American gamers. Uh, they had an Asian type upbringing, oftentimes because of that, and because of the general trend of their parents being pretty traditional and risk averse, which is, you know, uh, just the thing. Like almost like 90%, if not 100%, of all the millions of Asian American first generation parents, they're like this. And so these trends lead to, these activities, and basically they lead to, certain behaviors in school and, certain, ways that they act and certain interests that they adopt and certain, pressures that force them to go pursue certain careers even if they don't want to. Like some of them, you know, surprise, surprise, they all kind of are forced down a certain way to either, you know, pursue engineering or, you know, pursue medical school or pursue something else. Now, having said that, there's exceptions and variation as well. I've met uh, cool Asians. I've met really muscular Asians. I've met Asians who don't major in any of those things. They major in business. I've met Asian Americans who have parents who are uh, fairly chill and will allow their children to do more and all these things. But like it or not, there are these huge, big trends that kind of control you. And so the point is, you do have that option and ability to take control of your life, and there is hope. And you don't have to let things define you or control you based off all these influences. And you know, I don't think I realized how big of an influence these things have had, but lately I've been observing people who have lived pretty long and full lives, and you look at all their actions and all the things that they do, and it's so influenced almost everything just by you know genetically how they are and uh, their environment. And that's fine and dandy if you want, if you're cool with that. um, but if not, go ahead and change that. And I guess the last thing I do want to say, and this is maybe a bit random, consider it a bonus to this video. Sometimes life is very strange, especially nowadays, more than any time in history. Life is getting stranger and more peculiar. And, you know, once in every million people, very strange things will occur. In a good way, one could argue. Things like, you know, people who seem to have been screwed over for most of their lives ending up, making more money than they'll ever need doing something that they absolutely love, video games. Um, and for most of their life thinking that they wouldn't, amount to anything, or, uh, it seems like they have gone down the pathway and lived a life where they were always like the runt of the litter, and, they were destined to pursue a job that they would never enjoy. I've seen stories like this in the professional gaming field, as well as the entertainment gaming field with the top YouTubers. Um, and so, you know, it's interesting seeing sort of stuff like that, and seeing other people get that as well outside of just competitive gaming. Um, I do have to say though, it's not easy, and you can't just it doesn't fall on your lap, and it does require a tremendous amount of work, and a lot of things aligning, and maybe quite a few success principles. But now more than ever, I do think it's accomplishable, and that's just amazing in my opinion. It's incredible. That's all I gotta say. I'll see you guys later. Peace.